Debbie, Debbie, you're naughty. Debbie's being naughty. Come on, Jamie. Debbie. Jamie. Come on, babe. Oh no. Sorry, Debbie. Wrong Debbie. I'm going to start without her.
Survivor. I'm a survivor, survivor. Who will be the ultimate survivor? Let's find out when you spend the day in our shoes. All you creators, our sanctuary is waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor. I'm a survivor.
All right, so I really can't be upset with Jamie being late. She is here, but she's not ready to appear yet. I'll tell you what happened though, and I should be very embarrassed about this. I should be very, very embarrassed. But you guys know that Jamie had to go to a graduation party this afternoon. So once we got back from out of town, I went over to the JL and worked with the horses and did all that I had to do. Jamie, in the meantime, goes to the graduation party. When she walks in, there's 50 people standing around, sitting around. Someone recognized her. Someone recognized her from the party, and she runs up and says, "You're the woman who wears the pearls.
You're Jamie with the pearls.
You're Jamie with the pearls." But hold on, that's not the story I'm trying to tell. What I'm trying to say is what happened next. Oh, here you go, baby. What I'm trying to tell you is what happened next. She goes, "But where's the funny man at? Where's the funny man? So you're Jamie with the pearls, but where's the funny man?"
That happened.
And the rest of the people, is that enough?
Yeah, it's fine.
And then everyone else is like, "Yeah, where's the funny man at? Where's that funny man?" And Jamie goes, "I didn't bring my monkey."
I didn't.
She didn't have to. She didn't say
I
that.
didn't say bring my monkey.
But
I
you
said
didn't
he's
have
at
to.
home working.
Yeah, so pretty much what you meant was I didn't bring my monkey because I'm the funny man. I'm not Lester. I'm not the Longhorn man. Where's the Longhorn man? No, it's like, where's the funny man? And instead,
I felt like it was like, hey, great that you came, but did you forget something?
yeah,
It's
the funny
like when
man,
you
the
have
monkey.
It's like when you have a
forgot your
baby.
monkey.
It's like when you have a baby, and everybody's so excited to bring, and you show up and you didn't bring the baby.
No one
That's
cares
what
about
I felt
you.
like. It was like, great that you came, but where's Lester?
Well, that's not the way I took it. I just took it that I'm like the circus monkey and I'm there for the entertainment. And people wanted to have someone, they wanted the jesters, what they wanted. You know how in the old days, the king had someone to entertain all of his guests, and it was the jester. I feel like I'm like the jester of this. I'm the monkey in the circus. I'm the jester.
I do feel like that you would have ran directly through the house and ran into, they have a pool in their backyard, that you would have just ran and cannonballed with the kids. Like, that's what I feel like your entrance would have had to have been, because that's what I felt like that's what they wanted. By the way, I was just watering the garden and the hose got out of control and sprayed myself in the face. And that was that's why I look like I'm sweating. I'm actually not sweating. I was actually watering the garden and sprayed myself with my hair in a ponytail, and that's why I look a wreck. Sorry.
If you did not video what you just did,
it's probably on the security cameras.
No, not that part. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and tell everybody the whole story. This is not two truths and a lie. Did you make a video of what you did tonight? Okay, so we have a live, and Jamie gets home from the graduation party with 20 minutes to spare. She also brought us dinner. So we sit down to eat dinner. And once we're done, now at this point we have 10 minutes. So I come over here to get everything set up for the live. And it takes time to get everything set up. You get some behind the scenes stuff, go to the green room, do some pee padding. But while I'm doing that, she's going to walk outside and turn off the water because she left the sprinklers going. So all of a sudden, it's like 2 minutes until the live is about to start. I'm sitting here ready to go. I had some videos, that I was going to talk about and stuff. And I look out the window and I see this woman who looks to be enraged right here in the garden, right here in the raised bed garden that I can see right through this kitchen window. And she's ripping things out. Like she's like ripping things. Tell me what was going on. Why are you doing that? And why today? And why right now?
I saw it and I couldn't let it sit. So it's been on the decline because of leaf eater bugs and, because of squash vine borers and leaf eater, or they're like leaf-footed. They're monsters. They eat everything. So that garden is like infested and it will not, it's done. So I saw that my tomatoes, some of them were getting ripe. So I started to pick those. And then when I went over to pick this squash, the plants they're just done because there's so many squash vine borers. So I started to rip them out. And then I got frustrated because some of the tomatoes have, it's a bacterial / fungal infection. So I got frustrated with those and then I ripped those out. And I just kind of went crazy and ripped out almost the whole garden.
So sort of Virginia is on track here. Your OCD kicked in and you was like, not today, Satan. And you just said, you know what? I will leave them ants, nothing else to eat. And you just destroyed and pulled up everything in your garden. It's so early. It's only May. It's the middle of May. Are you planning on planting another garden?
I have some seeds started in the greenhouse that can replace some of this stuff as different things. But the raised bed did not do well this year at all. Like
you had a tantrum with the garden.
I did. I literally took out all aggression on the garden in about 6 minutes. And we're going to have to get the tractor bucket to clean up my mess. And
so you did leave everything lay right there. That's what I was afraid of.
But hold on. I'm going to bring it to the chicken yard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the chickens will have a lovely way with it.
Don't do it, Hank. Not today.
Hi, Hanky. I miss you so much. Oh, you're going to show the mess.
Oh, what, man? Oh, that's just groceries. Jamie also brought some groceries in.
Yeah. So my day was not just Jamie went to a party. Jamie drove an hour and a half to go to a show face at a graduation party for 45 minutes.
After we already drove 3 hours back this morning from Tyler.
Yes. And then I placed a grocery order before we left Tyler and swooped by to pick that up. Then I picked up dinner. Then I came home, unloaded all those groceries, put almost all of them away. Not quite as I put everything.
Sorry, I just showed everybody. I was trying to show Hank.
I put everything cold away. Everything dry is still out and I need to put that up, but I wanted to water the garden before it got dark. And that's whenever I walked out and saw it was a mess. So in my true ADD brain, I just go ahead and start ripping some stuff out. Meanwhile, I picked a few more onions. I picked some tomatoes, brought those in, rinsed those off. And I'm still not done, but it's fine. It's going to be totally fine.
I think this is a cute comment over here. And I'm glad that it was Catherine who said it, not me. Or some of the other guys who are on here, because I see several fellas that are joined tonight. But no, Catherine says that's a total woman move, and she gives you a thumbs up.
It's normal to just walk and be like, you know what, forget it. I'm trying to salvage it. I was like, there's a way you can like inject this where the squash vine borers go and like all these things. I did it all. What I think is just a bad year for it. Stephanie told me she had to do some of the same things. I got 2 cucumbers off of those plants. 2. Yeah. That's it. That's the worst that's ever happened. I do have more growing out in the other garden, but this just did not have a good year at all. So, you know what? Toss it. Done.
How about all of the men who are watching introduce yourselves?
They're probably terrified because I put everybody in woman mode right now. I did. Like, you know what it's like. So we were gone, 28 hours?
I don't know. All I know is we left Saturday and came home Sunday.
28 hours. Do you know how much happens in 28 hours and how far behind?
Who puts it into hours like that?
I'm just saying that, like, it is a time of year where the garden needs daily attention.
Hi, Anthony. Hi, Aquarius.
Bill. Romero. I see Bill.
Hey, Christopher. Hey, Bill. I saw Ken was here earlier. Hey, Alan. I wonder if Elvis is here tonight. You know, there's a guy named Elvis who follows me.
I do.
And says hi to me on occasion.
But you know what it's like. Y'all know what it's like to like have
Steven.
50 boxes open at a time.
Hey, Cabo. Hey, Rick. It's nice to see, ladies, there are men that are on the channel. But, hey, Mark, Steven, Evan.
Wait, Steven like our squirrel? Alan, Steve, Steven.
Hey, Roland. It's nice to see that you guys are here. Guys, you're welcome to chime in and speak up. Ladies, I promise they're very kind. Most of the ladies here are very kind, and I'm the only man that they hate, okay?
Your dad's having a hard time growing cucumbers too.
Oh, really?
I'm wondering, so I put new soil in.
The men are always here. They just don't talk. They feel outnumbered. Keep going.
They probably are. I'm wondering if it's the soil or if it's because I put them in the same place, but it shouldn't because I put new soil in on top every year. I don't know.
Hey, Mike.
It was a bad year.
Hey, Phil.
So I've been feeding the chickens,
Hey,
and that's what's going to happen. At least I can do that. Like I have to see the positive. At least I can do that.
Lisa, I know that most of you don't. There's just that one lady. Hey, Ricardo, there's just that one lady that does, and I just can't let it go. I just can't let it go. And then I tried to convince Jamie. I says, hey, why don't you just delete her? And Jamie refuses to do it. Jamie, like, well, she's done nothing wrong to me. I'm like, I know, but if it bothers me, then it should bother you. And Jamie goes, oh, well, do you know how many women bother me on your channel? And you don't delete them. And I'm like, yeah, but they ain't done nothing like, they don't say stuff about you. And so we have
they say it to me. They tell me. They send me messages and tell me.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Mark. We got some men here. Ladies, we got some men here. Guys, you don't got to be so quiet. All right?
They probably are overwhelmed with my woman in the garden moment. Sorry to start off with the stress.
Bonnie says, Lester, do men have a chance to talk while us women are talking? And she laughs about it. That's true, Bonnie. The men don't have a chance to say hardly a word here. Men don't have a chance to say what? No, I mean in the comments, because there's a lot of ladies commenting. No, but I want the men to know that they are welcome. You occasionally see a man comment, and it's nice to see men, because men do have an opinion as well, Jamie. Men do have an opinion, and we're blessed to have you guys. Jamie and I are back. We took off for, I didn't know it was 28 hours. I never did the hour by hour. But we did take off to Tyler, and you guys know by now that we went up to look at a couple of what I would like to call dream homes. And like I said, my dreams are simple, guys. I'm not the kind of guy who dreams of thises and that's. But I've been looking for a while at these homes, and then Jamie told me where the modular and the mobile home capital of Texas is at.
Like the Mecca.
The Mecca, yeah. And it wasn't too far from here. So the day that she says, I just need a break, I'm like, I'm going to give you one. Let's go to Tyler. She thought.
Did you tell them that I said that?
She thought we were going to go see the roses. She thought we were going to go see the roses of Tyler. Oh, we saw them. Don't worry. We drove by those. Jamie will show you that video later. Tell them about some of the guys. Here's something I bet you did not know. Here's something I bet you did not know. Roses, their roots, their leaves, their stems, and their hips, whatever that means, whatever their hips. There are so many medicinal purposes and really neat. Help me. There are so many things that roses can do for us in medicine.
So roses have are obviously a natural form, and they have a significant amount of benefits. I know there's some antihistamine in them. There are some antimicrobial. There's a multitude of use. You can look it up for yourself. We're not doctors. We're not promoting. I feel like I need to throw a disclaimer right here because somebody yelled at me for that last week. Like, Jim, you're not a doctor. You can't tell us anything. I ain't telling you anything. I'm just telling you what I read. Yeah,
no, all we did was read like interesting facts about the place that we had stayed for 28 hours. And the roses are so much more than just a flower, because I'm sorry.
Let me read what
I always thought that roses were just a pretty flower. And for some reason you give a rose to ladies or whatever, or to your mom. I did not know that there was actually rose farms that are used for medicinal purposes. And it ranges. And then some cultures are a lot more into them than what, oh, there's a fly on my hat. Did y'all see that?
Skin health. The petals produce things for skin health. They have water, hydrosol, and can reduce inflammation. They can act as an astringent. The scent is actually proven to be an aromatherapy usage for mood and relaxation. Believe it or not, you can make a tea out of the petals, which I have drank before. Someone sent me that years ago. I don't know if you remember that.
Rose petal tea.
For digestive support.
And menstrual cycle discomfort. I remember that one.
But they're rich in vitamin C. There's
I don't know why I remembered that.
There's an oil that can be made from it. There are all kinds of things, but one day I would love to sit down and talk about the medicinal purposes of so many things that we consider just weeds or just a decoration, and it's unbelievable. Maybe we'll make that part of a conspiracy at some point in time.
Like the dandelion.
Dandelions are,
trust me, I had to hear about dandelions for 3 hours as we drove home.
It was not 3 hours. It was
I know
like
the entire
3
history.
minutes.
I know the entire history of dandelions. I'll tell you what.
Dandelions are one of the most beneficial plants out there, but roses are too. And I already knew that they made essential oils with it. I also knew about rose hip tea, and I knew about the petals and the skin and things like that. Of course, I knew about the scent, but it was really neat to learn all about the extremes. And I say learn. It's neat for me to learn with Lester and to watch him learn, because most of us don't ever take the time to look up that information. So being able to read about that was really powerful.
No, we had a great trip, though. Like Jamie said, we learned a lot. I learned a lot. Sometimes, like typical man, I feel like I know it all. And me being a few years older than Jamie, I feel like I'm like also her mentor and her teacher. She lets me know real fast that I'm not. Like she don't have to say it. Look at her face. Her face says it all. Her expressions say everything. But I like to think that I am. I like to think that.
And I like to let him think that.
Anyway, we learned a lot about the city of Tyler, where we stayed overnight. And then, of course, we learned a whole lot about some of the homes that we have been looking at. We got a chance to go and tour some of those, walked inside. We made some videos. We went live with it. And it was just really, really neat. I can tell you right now, though, that I have already pretty much given up on what I thought was my new dream home in the Barndo, because I value your opinion, ladies. I value your opinion. And by reading the comments on my today's 3 o'clock video, when I told y'all the house that Jamie liked the most, all of a sudden, when I have to beg and plead for some support here, and no one has any to offer. Instead, it's all about Jamie's right, Jamie's right, Jamie's right. And this was not girl code.
Oh my God.
This was not girl code. This was like women who really think once you like put your, I had no support today whatsoever. I didn't.
That's not true.
And
I did read some comments. You had like 1 or 2.
Yeah, there was like 1 or 2. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm fine.
Look,
guys.
you have some right here. Barndo.
And then you have a lot. Yeah, no crybaby, Lester. No crybaby. Stop whining, Lester. Grow up. Anyway, no, like I said, we are just in the dreaming phases. We're like looking and talking about stuff, but everyone knows this, and we just don't know the time limit or the time. But 5-year or 10-year goal is to eventually consolidate all of the animals onto one property and eliminate all of that driving back and forth and have everything right there together. And then what we have to do, and because we have so many animals, we have to consider which property is the best in, all around. And even though we are very blessed for the properties that we have, we also know that there's really only one that can accommodate everybody.
Yeah.
And so in saying so, we just have to start thinking about the future. And for what we do with animals, we can't live per day. We can't live day to day. We can't. We have to start thinking about things a long, long time in advance. And then we just let things manifest and let things begin to work themselves out. And we start planning and prepping for things. So I will say, and this is no secret by now, that in the future, Jamie and I are more than likely going to be consolidating everything to the JL Ranch North. 50 acres, 50 beautiful acres, 2 ponds that are deep and have never run dry that we would know of. Just grass that held up even during the 2 years of drought. All the animals are fat and healthy, and it's just wonderful. Now, don't get me wrong. I know Jamie's going to probably tell you all of the wonderful benefits of the property here and how beautiful it is. And I agree. It's gorgeous. I mean, gorgeous, but it's only 20 acres. And we still have not been able to get the right kind of grass to grow, and certainly not enough of it to ever accommodate.
So it's hard for me to dream out that far and not start to take actions on things. And I don't mean like go buy a house, go do all those things, but to think towards getting this ready or getting that ready. And Lester, like, I think in today, tomorrow, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, all the things, but I think about all the things that's going to accommodate, need to be accommodated to handle that. And I start, not necessarily putting things in motion, but dreaming about this and dreaming about that. And whenever I vocalize it, it freaks Lester out so bad because he's like, wait, I'm working on one stall right now. That's what I'm doing right now is one stall. So we get a little ahead of ourselves sometimes in the way that I dream with you all, because maybe you think like Lester does, like, we can't think that far ahead unless you're going to act on it today. So yeah, even though we look, it's ideas, and it allows us to plan for how the layout looks and how we structure things for the future and the steps we take to be able to get to that. So there are a lot of people who are like, just do it, pull the trigger today. Why wouldn't you just do it? No, we're not ready.
No, we're not ready. I don't mean this in a mean way, but we're just like you all. We're up to our ears in debt. Okay. I don't know you all's. I don't know your stories, but I'm imagining that if you're like me, then we're all up to our ears in debt. And so we would like to kind of like do and pay some things off first. Okay. So that's my plan. And then, but no, I just think that for something as big as this, it does take planning and time, and you want to troubleshoot everything. So,
and there's things that I want to do long before a house. Like, there's so many things that have to happen before that. Number one, I have horses that love a pond that they can swim in. So the pond at the JL North is not one that they swim in. So we have to think about digging that out, adjusting that, or digging something else down by the grove. Like, there's a lot that has to be done. That doesn't happen overnight. So us dreaming is really dreaming at this point, and gives us foundations of what we can think through we want and what we don't. But there's so much.
Here's the one thing that I will say, and if I can, I don't think this is wrong to say to you all. I think that we share a lot of information. Oh Lord, Hank, if you turn this computer off, you're gonna be dead to me once and for all. You're gonna be dead to me once and for all. I know I've threatened you many times.
Oh, Hank.
I have threatened him so many times, but if he turns off this computer during a live video, he's gonna be dead to me. No, he won't. Listen, my dad, there was a life lesson that my dad taught me, and I've tried to teach it to my kids and to my nephews and to anyone who will listen. And at this point, no one seems to listen too much anymore, and that's fine. But I've told you guys before, but my dad always taught us to invest every penny that you find, every extra cent, invest it into your property. Guys, if you see everything Hank moving, that's Mr. Hank.
Hank was just giving you all some love too.
He taught us to invest your money into your property. He goes, if you invest it in the property, you can never go wrong. He goes, if you go off and you spend it on new fancy shoes, or you go off to the bar and drink it away and buy drinks for everybody around you, he goes, you may have a good time, but there's no investment in that. There's no payoff. There's no, I don't know the right words, but so my dad taught us to invest every penny into the property. And so for as long as we've been doing the social media, and for as long as we've been able to make a few dollars, and I've able to retire from my job or quit my job and to do social media full time, and Jamie for all the time that she devotes to it. We've put a lot into the property, and sometimes it may seem like it's frivolous spending, but to us, these barn structures, for example, yeah, there's 3 barns, but we know that with the number of animals that we have and the ones that are eventually going to be there, we will need the barns, and the barns will always come back to its equity into your property. And of course, now we have the 8 stall horse stable. What
I was going to say, though, is like for the last 7 years, we have done everything we can to accommodate the animals. And that's always been first. And that's not going to change no matter what. And that is still our focus, our everything. And we aren't, today we were talking about this and I said something and Lester goes, it's just all this time and all of the do and all the things. And he's like, it's just, sometimes you just think of what if I would have done this different? What if I would have done that different? And I looked at him and I said,
it's true. I doubt myself all the time.
I said, we initially were staying in a barn that you converted into your house, and people don't know this. And this is not to embarrass Lester.
Oh boy. Go ahead, embarrass me.
It's not to embarrass Lester, but it's to talk about how far things have come. And this is not to be braggart or boastful. We had a bathtub where the hot and cold water was reversed, where the electric lines and the water lines ran outside the walls. The toilet had hot water in it, but the kitchen sink did not have hot water.
Hey, I did the best I could under the circumstances.
You did. But what I'm saying is, I have the note still. I think I posted it recently. That was like a little love note that you left when you're headed to work one day, that you made sausages and you put them in the microwave and you said, but don't run the microwave and the lights at the same time because they'll blow a fuse.
You blow a fuse.
And what I'm saying, though, is that things have come a very long way. And I hope that what I said to Lester in the car was, we can never have regrets about the things that we did because the animals have always come first. And that has been our motive, our mission, our MO, but we have put the animals first, and we still are and will. It is hard when you're in it every single day and you're just treading water, basically. To look back and think about some of the things that we did along the way of like, boy, I wish we would have did this different, or did we make this decision right? And all of those things. And when you look back and you think of the steps that we made and knowing what the future may or may not ever hold, I can say with the most honest heart that I feel like we took care of a lot of animals and still are doing the exact same thing because that's our passion in our heart.
Yeah, no, that running the hot water into the toilet accidentally, I had no idea why my light bill was so high. Why the hot water heaters, you don't want those running all the time, and every flush it would turn the hot water heater on, and I had no idea.
The toilet was warm in the winter, that's what I could say.
There was always like steam. There was always steam. And and then of course, like I said, we ran all of the gray water. Now, gray water, as you guys know, it's safe water, even though it may have washed hands or bathtub water. We ran the gray water right out a hole. I drilled me a hole in the wall and run my 1-inch pipe right through it. And it just went out far enough to where it couldn't fall back into the walls of the house. And there it went, and it became my pig wallow.
But hold on a second. One day.
That was my pig wallow.
One day.
I'd take a bath and pigs would come a-running. They would love when Daddy let the water out.
So after Imelda and we had to redo the bathroom, I don't know what happened, but the original drain, the water no longer came out. Do you remember that? You made the video for Jason because you were like, this is where.
There was a hole in the wall, but there was no water coming out. There was not even a pipe there. And I'm like, wait, where does my sink drain? And I could not find where my sink was draining. And so I had to run back in the house, turn the sink on, and begin to look all around. Water was coming out, but I did not know where it was going. I did not know where it wasn't going inside the house. There was no water across the floor, yet but the entire pipe that used to come out of the wall about 6 inches or so was gone. And I'm like, wait. And I didn't even know that until I was making the video.
I know, that's the funniest part.
There should be a pipe right. There should be a drain right there.
A hole. It's just a hole.
And then at some point I looked down and I start seeing the ground begin to puddle up around me. So it actually was going down between the wall and the sheetrock. But because this slab that I poured was not level, the slab that I
Still
poured,
good.
the slab that I had, luckily it sloped outwards away from the house. So as that water come down the sink, went through the little whatever, and wherever it went, it must have went into the wall and right out the bottom of the house.
I remember you were redoing the room off of the kitchen in the barndominium, and you were going to make it Lex's bedroom. And
oh my gosh,
one night I flew into town and got there, and the power was out, and it was cold, really cold. And that was the room that was the smallest room. Do you remember where I'm going with this?
No, but I remember that. I know that was that was ground zero. I called it ground zero.
Well, this was after that. This was like right after Thanksgiving, I think. I came into town, the power was out, and it was freezing cold. And we slept in that tiny little room because it was the smallest place, and it was the place where we could stay warm together. And I remember waking up and I looked up, and you could see outside from where the rafters were. And I asked you, and I was like, you think that's what's making it extra cold in here? You're like, no, it's keeping it vented. I'm like, okay, ask no more questions. Here we go.
Well, here's the thing. And I do believe this. Now, I don't think I've ever built a whole lot of anything like a home from scratch. But if you think about it, taking a barn and turning it into a home, or renovating anything, I bet you that renovating a home is a whole lot harder than building a home from scratch.
I think so. And
I really do believe that, because when you renovate, and that's kind of what I did, was took a barn and made it into a home. When you built the barn, guys, you didn't run things centered and squared and all that kind of stuff. You didn't put your studs and your joists and everything to remind yourself there's going to be a window here and there's going to be sheetrock. And so there was a whole lot of cracks. There were so many cracks. And then the scariest thing is, it was so bad that whenever we had to come by and take the sheetrock down after that May flood from last year, I found a snake skin. There was a snake skin between the outside wall and the sheetrock, right there where you have your insulation. And that means that at some point, here I am on the couch lounging, and the whole time there's snakes crawling around inside my walls, inside the walls of my home. Yeah. Oh my God.
No bueno.
So no, I guess when you look at it like that, you might say that.
Things have come a long way.
We've come a long ways. But I'll tell
you what? We had fun.
Lord,
we have laughed, we have cried, we have loved, we have worked, and we never ever once looked at it like it wasn't good enough or it wasn't anything like that. Like, it was never like that, ever. It was always like, what do we have to do next? And what's come up? Let's handle it. Let's do it. And there's a lot to be said about the things that we have figured out, truly figured out, and been able to muddle through. So when I think about like these big things in the future, while they seem really big right now, maybe one day they won't feel so big and so scary, but we take it one day at a time. We sort through whatever life throws at us, and we go from there and do the best that we can with what we have, and just keep going.
And there were a whole lot of life lessons learned in all of that. You don't just wake up one day and know how to do plumbing. You don't just wake up and know how to do wiring or, electrical. You don't know how to build fence. You don't just wake up and learn how to stretch and pull wire. You don't. And through all of those times that you just kind of had to get out there and do it. And you guys know this. You guys are you're just like us in so many ways. Yeah. You figure things out, and over time with experience, you get better. And, you can't say that you you may not want to show off your early work, but how far you've come. And Jamie can always remind us that I was the guy who had hot water to the toilet and only cold water to the sink. Whoops. I went the wrong directions with my water line.
You know what, though? We made it work. We
Yeah.
made it work, and we had fun. And
I think the coolest thing was that I ran the electricity along the wall on the outside of the wall. But so as the kids or nothing would get into it, I went and I built a little frame and it went right along the wall. And if you ever moved that wood frame out of the way, you saw what, 10?
you saw things.
You saw, no, I'm talking about the wires or how many wires. I just went by and I tried to duct tape them all together. But there were so many wires, and then every once in a while I'd stop and put me an outlet. I'd just cut a small square in the yeah. So all of that was on the outside of the wall. And if you're on the inside of the house, on the inside of the house along the bottom. And then if you're wondering why I did not go ahead and drill holes and run wiring the right way, it's because everyone kept telling me that because it's a barn and it's metal on the outside, the wiring would get too hot. The tin, which is the outside, was tin. It was metal. It would get too hot and it would end up creating problems with my wiring. And so I had to have that. I left that original tin where it was at, just stacked in the insulation, packed it in there.
For people who are like, there's no code. There's no code. There's no code here.
Oh, guys, no, we're in the country. We're in the country.
This is the only place in the world that I've ever been that doesn't have anything like it. They don't have anything. Nothing. You just do it.
So listen, no. And so here's the thing. You don't have those home, when you don't mortgage or you don't finance a home, you don't have to have it insured. So these are just structures that we built. This was a barn that for years, it was my little barn for my goats and for my chickens and for, my pigs. And then one day the house is gone. So the barn becomes my new home. Anyway, we've talked about that a few times about how my clothes would smell like animals. And I never realized because I was nose blind.
I'm still worried that mine do. Even today, going to that party, I'm like spraying perfume and I'm trying to be outside and just like hoping that it's not just like ingrained in my hair and everything like that and that we're nose blind to it or something, because it is what we do. It is what we do.
Yeah.
And I specifically keep certain shoes that I don't even let them touch the ground here. I take them from the closet. I bring them with me where I go and I put them on and then I take them back off so I don't even walk around. I'm just terrified of not knowing that I smell like a farm.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I would never know because I'm used to it. I'm used to whatever the smells are.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, well, here's a good example. Because we were gone for 28 hours, according to Jamie, when we got home and walked inside the house, we could smell the dogs. Normally we walk in and we never smell the dogs, but we could actually smell the musty dog smell.
Yeah.
And
so I immediately start cleaning and Lester's like, don't you have to leave? Yeah, I do, but I can't stand the fact that it smells like dog now. So I'm like throwing rugs in the wash and sweeping, trying to hurry up, and any blankets that are laying around, get them in the wash because I just know. Yeah. No, we did have we had a house sitter, so the dogs were let out and everything was wonderful. And then don't forget, we have cameras, and so I keep track. I constantly, watch my videos of the things going on, the cameras of both properties to see where the animals are at. And I have the camera set up where I can catch every angle. I can see where the horses are at. I can see where the bulls are at. Now, when the cows go out to the back, I can't see them past the hill, but I can kind of tell, we don't have any water running across the ground and other things. So we felt pretty safe. We felt comfortable. Neither one of us felt it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. No, and we were only 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So that does help, that does help. And knowing that we can make a call to the house sitter and say, hey, do this until we could get here was like, it was good. I have a confession.
Go ahead. I like confessions.
I slept until 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh, she sure did. I woke up natural at 7 and she's right there. And I'm like, what?
And he told me I was snoring.
No, not bad. It wasn't like gross snoring. There's cute snoring, then there's gross snoring. And most of you women know about a man that kind of like gross snores. And then.
Yeah, but snoring in the morning, like I can see sometimes when you're so exhausted, like I don't feel like I snore every night. Do I snore every night?
I'm normally
That's true.
Sleep before you are, and I wake up after you do.
That's true. but I feel like the exhausted Jamie, I can catch myself snoring when I fall asleep. But I didn't know I snored
So
in
he
the
goes,
morning.
Jamie, you call that purring, not snoring.
Okay, well, I must have purred like a freight train this morning because Lester was like, yeah, you must have been tired. You were snoring. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I will admit that I have been exhausted. My work right now is taking way more time and effort than ever before. And for people who work in healthcare, you know that it's a volatile time right now. And it's stressful. I actually had a lady email me and tell me that she was thankful that I am not afraid to talk about it and admit it, that it is a very stressful time in healthcare as a whole. And in many industries. I'm not saying just healthcare. But I stood in this kitchen. Did you tell them this the other day about my moment?
Oh, God, I don't think so.
I had a moment in this kitchen. I'm going to cry. Where I literally said, I looked at Lester and he goes, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed in every facet. Like there's so much to do and so much to handle that I am like, I'm at a tipping point and my stress comes out in just like, I need to say it. I need to say I'm overwhelmed and admit it to you. And I just looked at him and he just looked back at me like, oh, okay. Like it was the first time, I think it's the first time I've ever said that or did that in that way to you. And then he's like, okay, what can I do? And I'm like, I don't know. Just listen to me. Like it was in that moment of just like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And some days it's not one thing, it's 150 things. So I think I freaked Lester out when I said that. And it's just, you know, I may have 150 tabs open, but they're all going all the time. And some days you just need to be able to like regroup or to, you know, to feel like you accomplished something on your list. And the days where the list just gets bigger and you don't get to check anything off is sometimes where you like, you just feel it. You need to say it. You don't need anybody to necessarily do things for you in that moment or to be able to jump in. You just need to be able to say like, I'm overwhelmed. That's what's wrong. I'm not mad at you. It's nothing to do with you. It just was a moment where I just needed to verbalize like everything around me is like coming further. It's like when your weeds in your garden grow and you don't tend to them and they just get bigger and more and more and more and more. Because if you ignore it, it's not going to go away. It's just going to get bigger. And that's exactly what I felt like.
I thought I could do something kind of fun.
Oh boy.
What I'm doing is I'm only going to back up 1 week. Okay. So I'm not going to read you guys every text between Jamie and I, but let me just back up to Monday. Here's my text from Monday. Okay. So on one day we had a problem because we were out of green hay. And so I let Jamie know we're out of green hay. And then I asked her, Jamie, where's my weed eater string? Okay. And then she asked me, where's the weed eater fuel? And so I'm sitting here and we're dialoguing back and forth. We have issues with Facebook. We have issues with a neighbor. I'm just scrolling through here. Jamie can look right along with me. We can't find the chainsaw. Our chainsaw's missing. The trucker supply didn't get delivered on time.
And we were out of Osher's food. Then
the next day we still have no green hay because I forgot to get green hay.
And then so we need more horse hay over here.
So I have to bring rolls of horse hay. So when you see that, Jamie, and this is only Tuesday. Y'all, this is Tuesday. So anyway, so then when I get home, I'm like, there's the mix right where I told you it was. That probably didn't help very much, did it? Jamie weed-eated on her own. She weed-eated.
I literally wanted to like give him the bird in that moment. Like, how dare you send me the tin that is like hidden somewhere in where it's not supposed to be after I have weed-eated for 6 hours until past dark. How dare you? Like,
and then here's my reply to when she starts being mean. You know what? I'm taking the girls and going to the JL. And I grab the dogs and off I go. And she doesn't get to do that. She's here. So she messages back, and then we have alpacas needing to be medicated, and there's just so much.
Storm's got a crack in her hoof. The water line got ripped up by somebody and torn.
You forgot to charge my laptop, I tell her one.
Yeah.
And this is all Tuesday, y'all. This is all Tuesday.
He's like, you didn't even charge my laptop. Oh, I didn't? Where are my black shorts?
Ooh.
I'm supposed to have 4 pairs of them.
And then, oh my gosh. And this was the same day that Tuesday was your timeout Tuesday when Doc Baker came over. So if it wasn't stressful enough, all of these things that I just mentioned, then I make a video about me.
Poor Lester.
Poor me, because Doc Baker's here and I'm being forced out of the JL motel.
Because I got there like on time, but she got there 30 minutes early. So the message was like, Lester's like, I didn't schedule this. This is your appointment.
And then then people got really mean to Jamie. And so they got really mean to her. I'm not going to show you any names, but all these people here, these are all screenshots of all the people.
Like, not just like.
Who were being so hateful, just hateful to Jamie for messing up my Tuesday. And so I understand. I put her through a lot of stress. And then I asked her, can she please make this bank transfer? Can she please deposit this? Can she please make sure this is happening?
Did you call about the taxes? Did you call about this? Have you seen my retirement thing in the mail? Have you been to Plum Grove to get the mail? Have you done this? What have you done about this? And I'm just like, okay, normally, I'm really like, I can handle it all. No problem. Respond just fine. But the day that the text message came that he's out of Propel water at the JL Ranch.
Well, I don't make the grocery order.
I'm out of water.
I thought you liked doing stuff like that. Just like I thought you liked doing stuff like that.
I'm out of water. You're 55. You have a bodega next door that you can go steal creamer from all the time. I am sure they have Propel. You know what? There's a Walmart that delivers. You even have the app, which has the card on it that's already linked. All you got to do is order and hit deliver, and it'll bring it directly to you. Like, oh my God, I'm out of Propel water. And I was hoping that he was like choking on that Propel water in that moment as I received that message.
Yeah. And then don't forget, we had the Jake fiasco where I didn't have the right tools with me. So I had to make you leave I'm working during a work day and take Jake
He's like, go outside. And he goes, it's in my toolbox. Okay. In the work truck. Cool. I walk out there and there's no tools. There's no sockets. There's a jack, but I've never seen this jack. Don't know how to use this jack. And no, it's not the right jack. And he goes, no, maybe check the shop or the garage. I'm not sure, but I'm sitting in traffic and I don't have the right tools. You're going to have to go do it. So I look everywhere. Keep in mind, it's 100 degrees and I'm huffing all over these hills here with trying to find everything that I need to do. And then he's like, calls back and goes, oh, wait, it's in the trailer toolbox. Cool. Or in the trailer. He goes, it's in the small. Hold on. He goes, it's in the small part of the trailer. So I assume horse trailer. So I hoof it all the way out to the pasture where the horse trailer is. And I go and the horse trailer's locked. You want to guess where the keys for the horse trailer are?
And then remember this over here. I'm like, Jamie, where are all those at? Because she ordered those and I didn't know where they were all at. And I needed those for what I was working on. So there's a lot of stuff that added up, y'all. Just to be honest, I'm just scrolling through here. There was so much.
So one day he's like, why are you mad? What's wrong with you? Why are you so short? You're always just going. You can't even sit down and watch Survivor with me. He's like, this is just like what happened last week, an exact repeat. You can't even sit down and pay attention to a show. Oh. Yeah. Let's just say that's where my moment of like.
I'm also reading that I says, if you can you swing by Plum Grove and grab all the mail? Because I was looking for a particular letter that I needed from the retirement people. Guys, as I'm scrolling over here, I'm still finding more and more stuff that added to her. Her week was so hard.
Can you post this on Facebook? Don't forget to post the link.
Because my phone doesn't do Facebook. My phone will not let me go to Facebook.
And then if I walk in while he's doing a premiere or editing a video, I'm like, hey, baby. He's like, I'm working.
Guys, don't be mean to me now. Don't turn it around. You're being
I'm
mean
not
to me
kidding.
over here.
I'm working. Can't you see I'm working? And I'm like.
And then on top of that, I'm over here also. I'm going to stop reading now because I'm getting myself depressed for you. I'm feeling sorry for you over here. And then I'm like, Xander calls and I'm overhearing their conversation, and Xander was cursing a lot. And so then I start saying, Jamie, why is he cursing? Every word out of his mouth is a curse word. And then she has to remind me that him and Kendra are expecting a baby and they can't get anything done on their house. The insurance is giving them the mess around.
Yeah, I'm still handling all of that too.
And I'm like, why is Xander cursing? Every word out of his mouth is a curse word. And I was completely not empathetic to Xander at all. And so now Jamie's also trying to handle all of that, trying to get, because she has not connections, but she knows who to talk to. Xander is still just what, 22, and Kendra
and works during the week to where he can't bring his phone, can't make the phone calls. And Kendra works too, and can't. And she's not. Her name is not on some of the stuff. So like,
yep, you can't.
It's a conundrum, and it's very busy. In addition to, I am also working and handling everything around here as well. And then one night he comes home and he mows the grass. Okay. He mows the grass and he comes in and goes, why is there 31 hours on the lawnmower already? I've only mowed twice.
We have a new mower and I want it to last a while. It needs to last a while. And I don't know how so many hours got on there because
I've been mowing.
And I says politely, Jamie, we don't use the lawnmower to mow the entire horse pasture. You don't use a yard lawnmower to mow 10 acres. And whenever I go to the JL motel, she's been jumping on that lawnmower.
If it's
mowing
super
the
weedy,
horse pasture.
If there's super weedy parts, yeah, I will go mow for 30 minutes until it's dark and I can't see anymore because
Anyway,
there's some parts that have to be knocked down.
I've only had to mow our yard here maybe 3 or 4 times, and there's already 30 hours on our lawnmower. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong with the timer over here. And I'm like trying to hit the timer, wondering how there's so many hours on the mower already. And she's been out there mowing the horse pasture. I'm like, we use a tractor for that. Okay, at this point, you're going to have to turn it around because there are people who are really upset with me.
So here's what happened.
Your hater is right there saying, and now you know, Jamie, that what I'm saying is true.
So hold on a second.
She ain't leaving me, lady. Give it up already. Here's what I think. I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to say any names. I think that you want Jamie for yourself. I think that you hate men and you want to push me out the door so you can have Jamie all to yourself. You ever thought about that?
No.
And that's why she hates me so much?
No.
It could happen. This is a scandalous Thursday. You're coming up on a scandalous Thursday or a scandalous Saturday. Uh-huh.
So
she's probably emailing me right now to give the email to you.
After I have my meltdown in the kitchen and tears are running down my face and like the stress is pouring out of my eyeballs at that point in time.
Carissa agrees with me. That's it, Lester. That's exactly what she's doing.
Oh,
hold on. Maybe she wants me, somebody says, and she wants you to break up so I'll be available.
Oh
I doubt that. Now that she's heard all of this mess, there ain't no way she wants me. I'm a little extra, okay? I'm a little extra is all I'm going to say.
Well, so the moment of like tears was also after a 30-minute hot flash at like, I don't know, it was like 7 a.m. And I'm like, I'm having a hot flash. I can't come out of it. My skin and my flesh are literally boiling at this point in time. And I'm overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed. And he like goes, well, I'm taking the dogs and I'm getting out of here. Gotta go. And then 30 minutes later, he sends a text. And he goes, hey, we're going to leave this weekend. And I'm like, we can't leave. There's too much to do. Blah, 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 blah. Like I just start going off and he's like, no. Find somewhere to go.
Hey, sweetie.
Anything. We can do anything you want to. It's your weekend, but we're leaving. You need a break. And I was like, oh. And then I bawled my eyes out like a baby because.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel that I'm incapable or want anyone to ever believe that things aren't possible or that it's too much, because while at times it can boil up to be that, it's still, and it can be a mess. It's still our mess. It's still my mess. It's still my mess.
Come on.
But it was just like, it was a lot these past couple of weeks. And when I finally just said, like, I need a break.
Back up a little bit. She loves me. She's like, Daddy, when all the other girls are being mean to you, don't worry. I'm still here. Thank you. At least I got Christmas, ladies who are being mean to me. At least I have Christmas. Okay. We had a nice getaway, and I'm going to try harder. I'm going to be better. Okay. I'm going to be better. So.
As he opened the fridge tonight and asked where the ketchup was.
Don't scratch me.
I'm not picking you up. I'm not picking you up. No, it was nice to be able to step away. It was fun to go dream. It was also fun to not have an agenda. We had no deadlines. We had no appointments. And yesterday was just like a mindless day. I found myself on the floor at Once Upon a Child digging through clothing bins, baby clothes bins. And it was so much fun. And that sounds so silly. And I also found myself at a bookstore flipping through pages, and I wasn't rushed. I wasn't pressured. I wasn't feeling like someone was waiting for me or that we had to be somewhere. And then when I got back to the hotel room and we laid down and we went live and just told you all about our day. After that, I took a shower and went to sleep, and I slept all the way till 8 o'clock, and it felt amazing.
Look at my shirt now.
It was amazing.
Oh, dogs. God.
Wow, who just whacked me in the leg?
Anyway, yeah, that's true. All of the things she was saying is all true. So, anywho, we will do that more often. All right, we'll do that more often.
It's not even about that. It just really is like, there's just extra things all around right now that are just adding a lot to everything. And it all sort of hit at once. And I'll be honest, menopause does not help. Menopause takes I feel like I'm a very skilled multitasker. I can keep up with everything. I can remember everything. And I have, for the first time in my life, had to start writing stuff down. And I've had to set reminders, and I've had to really put efforts into things that I haven't had before. And that frustration is probably adding to it all. Because sometimes I do forget to go grab this or grab that, or, there's been a lot. So if you have noticed that I have been off, because boy, there's been some people that have telling me like, all you do is complain. All you do is everything's always a disaster and wrong. And all of these things, like, I think I'm just a person that doesn't have a very good poker face, and that I say it like it is, but I don't feel like I am someone that says it's always doomsday and is impossible. I feel like I overcome a lot, and that I hope that I portray that it is possible to eat an elephant one bite at a time. And it is possible to have a positive outlook no matter how much life is throwing at you. And I know that there are many people who have life throwing at them much worse and much more than me. And I'm not trying to be a complainer, but it's been a rough couple of months, but specifically rough last couple of weeks. And I'm really thankful that he listened and realized that it was rough. It was bad. And that he was like, we're leaving. We're taking a step away. Let's go wherever you want. So.
Anyway, and you guys were right. We got home and all the animals are fine. Everyone seems to be happy. And I don't really think anyone even missed us, to be honest. I thought that I would get a warmer reception when I
That's
got
true.
home.
And then even when we walked in, the dogs didn't even
The
get
dogs
up.
looked up like,
They
"Oh."
looked up like, "Hey, Dad."
And I'm like, I've been gone for I was gone all night. And
They
like,
didn't care.
they just looked at me like, oh, that's just Dad. And back to sleep they go. So,
yeah.
Anywho, yes, Jamie, tell them about the purple house. Or you made a video of that, didn't you?
That'll come out tomorrow.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sneeze from
Oh,
Christmas.
bless you.
Christmas put hair all over
Oh,
me,
I'm sorry.
and it's floating around. You guys can't see it.
Is Barnadette around? She is. She's out in the shop right now with her babies, and she's doing really wonderful. I have to make here's something on my list. I have to make an appointment for her to get spayed, probably for next week, and all of the kittens are due for their shots. We got to take them in as well, so that'll be coming up. What else is going on this week? And bless you.
Thank you. No, I was just thinking about one more message that I saw the day that you were so mad at me. And you guys know, and I'm not going to say any names to embarrass anybody, but a lady had emailed and asked, could she stop by as she's traveling through? And I'm like, if you'll let me know closer to the date, I'll let you know, but I really can't plan anything right now. Well, I think that she took that as yes. So all of a sudden, I'm out of the picture, and she starts emailing Jamie with an itinerary of all the animals she wants to meet and the properties and the dates. Now, listen, you guys, I'm not trying to be mean.
It says,
Lester said so.
Lester said so.
I'm not trying to be mean. You know what? I'm not. And I'm not being mean to that sweet lady. But you guys know that I'm on the road a lot. You guys know that I'm on the road a lot. Right now, I'm helping Jake out on some fencing. And I'm doing, working both properties as far as the upkeep and the animals and everything else. And Jamie's busy as well. And that's why I said I can't make any promises, but let me know closer to the date. Meaning, if you say, Lester, this Friday, we're going to pass through at whatever time, the way the other lady did who got back from the cruise recently, I'm like, okay, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll make sure that I'm there for a quick visit, whatever. But at that point, once I kind of said, let me know close to the time, all of a sudden, it wasn't me she wanted to hang out with. It was with Jamie. Or maybe she felt more comfy dialoguing with Jamie. So all of a sudden, now Jamie gets all these emails about Lester said yes, and here's this and this and this and this and this and this, and I want to take you guys to lunch and all these kind of things. And Jamie's was already under all of that stress. And here's all of this additional stress added to it because me, oh Lord. So
it was like,
who is this lady saying she's going to be? Oh, I'm like, oh,
she's not only going to be here one day.
Yeah,
she's going to be here 2 to 3.
No, she was planning on spending a couple of days here. No, I never would have said yes to that. Never.
And I was like, I can't give that kind of time to anyone. Specifically on work days. I cannot. I won't. And that's not me being mean. And I hope that you hear that in the sincerity of my voice, that I can't give that kind of time to any one person. And I won't, because that would mean that I'm going to take off work and take away from animals and all. Like I'm just not. And so when it was that Lester said so, I was a little bit hot about.
Oh, she was mad. That just added to everything else. And, I tell you guys this all the time. And I tell Jamie more than I tell you guys that we will eventually have our time to rest. We will eventually, YouTube will run its course the same way that Facebook has. It'll finally run its course and it will move on past us. I'm not mad, and I'm not, I know how it works at this point. I've seen enough channels come and go. And I do know that at some point, YouTube will find something bigger and better and shinier and prettier. I get that. And so then at that point, we'll have time to rest, is what I always say. But right now we don't. I was so happy yesterday, Saturday, as we were about to leave out of here, that she grabbed her phone out of her purse and began to video our journey, our adventure, our getaway. And you guys were all telling me all week long, leave your camera in your pocket. Don't video. Give time to Jamie. And I was trying to tell you guys, I'm not going to like video the whole thing, but I got to go live at least once each day. And y'all are mad at me. And I'm blessed and I'm happy that it was not me who videoed most of the adventure. So you've seen a lot of my adventures already. I've posted them. Jamie's are coming up.
They are. I like, so some of my video is little snippets of what we did. It's not lengthy. It's not like a big event. It didn't take a lot of production. I just wanted to show our adventure because I generally do that, is take you along when we go see neat things. And finding some of the neat hidden gems and the thoughts about places that maybe you didn't think to look into and that type of thing. I love doing that. That is one of my passions. And I'm the one who opened my camera first. And later on, I was like, you're not going to video this? Like, and it wasn't about money. It wasn't about anything like that. Things like this are, for me, these are memories that I want to hold on to, and I want our kids and grandkids to see the adventure in the little things. I'm going to cry again. The ability to find the beauty in the moments, basically.
Yeah. And then I had so obviously it was Jamie's weekend to do what she wanted to do, and going to see the houses and stuff was not something that she was opposed to. Huh. It's more exciting for me because I like to dream like that. But we did go to other places, and I'll save a lot of those for her video. But you guys do know that at the antique store, I actually had a wonderful time making a unique video that I'm embarrassed to say was my #1 video of the week. As a matter of fact, you guys don't know this, but YouTube gives you when you post a video, it will tell you after so many hours how that video ranks out of your last 10 videos, right? Mm-hmm. And here I was thinking this is going to be the worst video I've made all week. It's going to be a 10, the last place. No one's going to watch it. It was me at an antique store having you all guess the price of these antiques.
Because let's be honest, that was the most expensive store I've ever stepped foot in.
No one's going to believe me, Jamie.
That was the most expensive.
No one's going to believe me until I show them.
I told Lester something about the prices there. And I met the owner, and I spent 15 minutes talking to her about what she does and why she loves what she does and all these things. To me, that was more of a museum than a store. And that person loved her collection so much that she actually didn't want it to leave. And I respect that, and it's fine because my joy is actually the looking anyway. But you know what I told Lester was like, the value of something is what you see. It is, like it's your value. And even though when we look at one thing and think that a price is ridiculous, it doesn't mean that it was for us. It doesn't, the value that you place on something is the value that you place on it.
Well, the thing is, this lady was how old? 71. Uh-huh. And she and her husband had been doing this for their entire marriage. And so the things that they had brought in as antiques that they went out and found and bought and then come back to resell, she had an attachment to a whole lot of these things because she had an emotional attachment to things. So obviously she raised the price on a lot of these things. Even you guys are saying here, that place was way overpriced. It's because she had an emotional attachment to it. Mm-hmm. And a similar story is the fact that you guys know that we are having to get ready to possibly sell Prince Willie Joe and Lord Grayson. And this is very similar in nature. I'm purposely, and I can catch myself doing it, overvaluing what they're worth because I know what bulls sell for. I know what meaning a year-old bull who's unproven. I know what they sell for. And here I am considering asking almost double that for Prince Willie Joe and maybe even Lord Grayson. And knowing that no one in their right mind is going to ever offer me that much money for these little bulls. But here's the thing. To me, I overpriced them because they mean something to me. They mean something to you all. And so if I end up trying to ask more than what I'll ever get, then in my mind, I'll justify the fact that, well, if it wasn't meant to be, then I guess they're meant to stay here or whatever. So it's an emotional attachment to certain things. Then you have that when you love it, like that lady loves what she was doing, then she probably doesn't really care to sell much of anything. I'm sure she has bills to pay, but she probably wants to hold on to as much as she can because that was she and her husband's passion for all of those years.
And you never know. But it was still fun to go look. The building itself was it's an old Sears building, and that was really cool to be able to experience that. And I made my own video because I found much different things than Lester did, as usual. Yeah. So that'll come out later on this week too. But it was just a day of whatever came up. And that was, for me, an amazing little escape. And I'm grateful that you sent me that message. I was blown away. I was in the middle of a call and I had to turn my camera off because I got tears in my eyes when I looked down and read the text of, we're going away this weekend. I have a house sitter. And I was like,
Jamie, someone is, I don't think they're being rude, but they're saying that when something's made in 1992, it's not an antique.
I beg to differ. I think the official antique now is 30 years old. Is that right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let me look it up.
Well, here's the thing. Is it really worthy of arguing about or even having to try to shame somebody into calling something an antique that was made in 1992? So I don't know. Someone says 100 years makes it an antique. I have no idea. Guys, I don't know. Here's what I do know. The place was called an antique store.
Vintage items are generally considered older than 20 years, but less than 100.
So vintage or over 20, but less than 100.
And antique is 100.
So, an antique is 100 years or older.
So we'll call it vintage then.
So in reality, I don't think there was much in that store at all that was over 100 years old. So probably there were some things, I'm certain. We saw the book. There was one of those things. The book was the antique that I recorded. Most everything else that I talked about in my video today was probably more vintage, not antique.
I'm officially vintage then.
Oh, don't make me even start adding up my years. So that's interesting. Jamie, just Googled it, guys. So there's no need to arguing with Google because they're always right.
The thing is, it just, some definitions require it to be as little as 25 years old to qualify as an antique. It also says that. So, like, there's no rules, guys.
Who cares?
What does it matter? We went to a store that had a whole bunch of a collection of
older things
that weren't from today. And we looked around and it was super fun. It's fun to reminisce. It's fun to connect. It's fun to remember.
Well, the fun that I had was asking people what I thought these items were going to be going for.
I want you to do it at a normal antique
like at
store.
Walmart.
Well, at Walmart would be fun too, but I mean like at a normal antique store that or a normal vintage store or whatever. A normal resale shop.
Okay.
We'll go with that. That I would consider to be a standard run of the mill.
So I did record that at that second place.
Oh, you did?
The second place that we went to.
Oh, okay.
Well, guys, trust me. We spend all day at antique stores and vintage stores and resale shops and nurseries and floral things. Trust me. I didn't video everything. But so the difference is that one store, the one that I posted today, it was called an antique store, even though we just now, by definition, most things are probably not antiques. The second place that I recorded that I've not posted, I will tomorrow, I think, is a resale shop. And that was a resale shop. And that will be more, that will be more along the line of what you think you would pay for something that's being resold.
Yeah.
Even though there were some things in there that were as old as the hills, which could have been antiques, probably.
I had a really fun time. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was nice to sleep till 8 o'clock. Don't remember the last time I did that. And
I'm trying to grab something, guys. I want to talk about this because I actually wanted her to, and she did not. And I did not understand why. I thought she was sick and dying. Did Jamie get any plants and flowers? So I actually encouraged her to, and she would not. And I'm like, oh no, she's dying. What happened? Tell everybody why. And it makes perfect sense why she didn't.
So on the way there, we passed this amazing nursery that I've never been to. It's, we've never been to this part. And he goes, do you want me to turn around? And I said, no, because it's so hot outside. I can't carry him into a hotel with us or into the stores with us. They'll die in the car. Yeah. It was 99 degrees outside here this weekend. So they would have literally baked in the car. Yeah. So I couldn't go and do any of that.
There was plenty that she looked at and that she liked, but she on her own says would not be good for the plants to stay inside the car in this kind of heat. So we did not get any plants. And I'll tell you what we did get a lot of though. Baby clothes.
I'm so
baby
excited.
Toys. God.
Can I show them one of the outfits? Can I?
Yes.
Okay, hang on.
But we got to go. It's already been over an hour.
Oh
my God. We took off out of here with a pretty clean car. We went in Jamie's SUV. And I'll tell you what, when we got on the way home, that thing was loaded. I hardly could see out the back window because she did so much baby clothes shopping. Yes, we saw the Tyler Roses. That was actually right across the street, the large gardens. But you guys do know that the entire town is known for its roses. So there's roses everywhere. The hotel we stayed in actually had the nicest display of roses.
Oh, they smelled so good. Okay, I'm going to show you 3 things that I bought because they're so cute. Okay.
Oh, no.
All right. Look at this little outfit that has little bitty ruffles and it has deer and fox and hedgehogs on it. Oh my gosh, it has little bitty flare things on the bottom. I'm so excited about it. Okay. Super cute. Yes, it's a bigger one because I feel like people give gifts for newborn clothes. So I went 6 to 9 months or bigger just thinking through it. And then chickens. I got chickens.
God.
Aren't they cute? Oh my goodness. So this is like a 6-month size. Okay. Really cute. And then here's the last one. It's got little bitty baby Elvira's on it. Isn't that cute? Yeah. I'm excited. Little I had a boy, okay? They don't make as cute a boy clothes as they do girl. And well, turns out that Once Upon a Child had a sale of 20 items for $10 and your girl here might have bought 40 items.
Yeah, and so I never rushed her.
No.
I could not stay inside the store because I felt weird. Some stores don't have a place for people like me to sit down and rest. And so I stood outside for as long as I could, but then I felt like a weird guy just standing outside of a child store on my phone. That was even weirder. And so I went back and I just found me a shade tree and I stood in the 90+ degree temps under a shade tree. And not once did I say, no. How much longer? Hurry.
I actually started to feel guilty on my own because they're checking me out and all of those things have to come off the hangers. And then I have this mountain. Okay. And they go, we don't have bags. We're a plastic free organization. No. And I was like, excuse me, what? She goes, but if you buy a certain amount of items, sometimes you'll qualify for bags or you can buy a bag.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, I'll just run out to my car and dump out something else and bring in a bag because I didn't want to be shuffling baby clothes across the parking lot and dropping it out like I was dropping my dirty laundry all the way across. But I worked it out. It's going to be fun. I can't wait. Now I have to ship it all up to Xander and Kendra.
Yep. All right. Well, why don't you wrap this thing up, sweet girl? Because we've been on here for an hour and a half already.
Y'all, thanks so much for letting me vent and to tell you that it's okay sometimes to admit that you are
You better
overwhelmed.
watch them close because he's going to lay right on top of them and get them as hairy.
I'm going to put them up. But it's okay to admit every once in a while that you're overwhelmed and to vocalize like, hey, I'm at my boiling point, like both physically and metaphorically, and to tell your partner why. And I'm really grateful that he took that very seriously and was like, okay, let's pause. And thank you all for understanding that sometimes we just needed a break and for giving us the grace of not having coffee with you yesterday.
I should probably add one little thing to that, talking about all the text that I was sending you, looking for this, can't find that, where's the this, reminding you of where I told you I put this, blah, 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 is that by Wednesday, after she had her breakdown, and at that point, I stopped texting her altogether, like nothing. Now, I'd reply to her text, but I wouldn't send her any messages, like, because I wanted to give her some space. And all of a sudden, she goes, "Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm at Jake's working." "Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I was just working." And so, so this is how horrible of a life this is. On one day, I'm over texting her, and then she has a breakdown. Come whatever day that was, Tuesday or Wednesday, she has a breakdown. So at that point, I stopped texting her as much, giving her a chance to unwind and making her life easy and letting her know, don't worry, this weekend we're going to get away. And all of a sudden, now I'm not texting her. So now she's upset because she thinks I'm mad. And I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm not.
I'm just a wreck, y'all. Just love me. That's what I tell Lester. I'm like, can you just love me? You just love me through my crazy times.
She's like, "Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm working later." Are you coming home?" I'm like, "Yeah, when I finish mowing." "Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad." "How come you don't call me babe?" I'm like, "Babe, I'm sorry. I'm just working." I quit being Lester is what it was. Elizabeth says you quit being Lester. So maybe you're right, Elizabeth. But no, it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Just love me. Okay. Just I'm grateful for one more day off work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a holiday in the US. And I also know that we don't celebrate Memorial Day. We observe it. And we're really grateful for the men and women who have given their life for us to be
enjoy
able
our
to
freedoms. Yeah.
enjoy our freedoms. So
and then I will go ahead and say now that I actually have already recorded my videos for tomorrow.
Nice.
And in one of those, I actually say Happy Memorial Day. And then I came back and remembered what happened last year when I said that. And so we have to correct ourselves and remind us that you don't say Happy Memorial Day. You're instead trying to remember, honor, and observe
Yes, sir.
those who have given the ultimate sacrifice for all of the men and women who've lost their lives defending our freedoms. So forgive me ahead of time for saying happy. I could have went by, and sometimes I'll take a little audio snippet and remove it, but I didn't do that. I just tried to explain to you guys that I slipped, and I've always, my entire life have always said happy this or merry this. So I don't waste your comment on that tomorrow, because I'm telling you right now, I slipped up on it.
We are really grateful that you give us the greatest gift of all, which is your time. I wrote in that young man's graduation card today is, my one piece of advice is the highest currency that you have any control over is your time, and where you spend it is up to you. But just know once you spend it, you will never get it back.
Yeah.
You cannot earn it back. So we're grateful that you choose us, and that you put up with us, and that you listen to me unload, and that you come back to tell me that it's going to be okay. to tell us that it's going to be okay.
We are not barbecuing tomorrow. I'm putting up rubber stall mats around the stables. And what are you doing tomorrow?
I'm helping you
Yes.
with those stall mats. And I have 2 people I have to meet here tomorrow to plan some fixing of some things.
Danny's going fishing.
Danny, have a great time.
Danny's going fishing.
I hope that you get to relax tomorrow, and that your day treats you kindly, and I hope that maybe I'll be able to sleep till 7 tomorrow instead. We love you all so very much. We hope that you stay safe and stay well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. I promise.
Good night, friends. What fun adventures I had today. I love her.
Survivor. I'm a survivor, survivor. Who will be the ultimate survivor? Let's find out when you spend a day in our shoes. All you creators, our sanctuaries waiting. Who will win the title? Well, it could be you. Survivor, survivor. I'm a survivor.